what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Unboxing the Vinyl. I'm your host, Tim Bianconi. If you would, go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel below. That would be greatly appreciated. If you could also hit that notification bell so you could be notified when we release new content, that would be appreciated as well. So in addition to this past Friday being Record Store Day and Black Friday, it also marked the release of a new Deep Purple album called Turning to Crime. So what this is, again, it was released this past Friday, November 26th. This is an album of all covers. Very reminiscent to maybe the first 2 or 3 Deep Purple records, where most of those albums were made up of covers. And then, of course, once they kind of found their way, they got away from that. But and in recent years, I know they did a version of Roadhouse Blues on the Infinite album from 2017. So they've done covers over time. But this is the first album of all covers. It was produced by Bob Ezrin, who has produced their last 3 studio albums. That would be 2003's Now What, 2017's Infinite, and 2020's Whoosh, which was amazing, by the way. And of course, Bob Ezrin's also known for having produced Pink Floyd The Wall, a couple of Kiss albums, several Alice Cooper albums, and a lot of other things. So very well known, very experienced producer, and has done a lot of great work recently with Deep Purple. So let's go ahead and take a look at this new album. All right, so here's my Amazon box. Now, this was supposed to be here on Friday. They waited until about 8 p.m. to tell me it was going to be late. Didn't really tell me when, and then it just showed up at my door yesterday. So here we go. Let me go ahead and rip this bad boy open. All right, let's go ahead and slide this thing out. Put the box down here. All right. So there's the cover. Deep Purple, Turning to Crime, with mugshots of the 5 current members of the band. And a hype sticker that says, warning, contains covers, but it is 100% Deep Purple. That's important. And let's see, it says limited edition colored, or excuse me, limited colored 2LP, crystal clear 180 gram. So that should be pretty awesome when we get to that point. So again, front cover. Here's the back cover, just with the track listing. And this definitely feels like another double album, as most are these days. All right, so let's go ahead and rip this sucker open and see what we got. I need to have a trusty knife or something in here, like David Coverdale. All right, might have to edit some of this out. There we go. There we go. Play around long enough and it'll tear. All right, so let me get this off. I want to make sure I don't tear the hype sticker, because I like to cut those off and keep those with the record for some reason. All right, let's go ahead and rip this bad boy open. All right. Oh, kind of interesting. Like I guess I don't know if that means, I don't know if that's called embossed or whatever, but a lot of texture to this album cover. Like it almost gives you a little bit of a feel like these pictures are like taped on the cover here, as opposed to just printed or whatever. But very cool. A lot of texture to the cover and everything. That's really cool. So there we got it. Front cover, Turning to Crime, without cellophane. Back cover, without cellophane. So let's open this up and let's see what's inside this vinyl. All right. So as I open up the inner sleeve, here it is, featuring a lineup of sorts of the current incarnation of Deep Purple. That has been the incarnation of Deep Purple for, I guess, coming up on 20 years. Since around 2002 when Jon Lord retired. So it's been the same steady lineup for 20 years, which may be the longest in Deep Purple's 50 plus year history. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and take a look at the inside here. Let's see, just make sure there's nothing else in there. There's not, all right. All right, so we're gonna pull out record 1 here. And, just on... Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, what this is. I guess it's kind of just, playing up the whole Turning to Crime and arrest records or reports or whatever, and different things. But so there's the front here with a picture of Ian Gillan. On the back, kind of the same. Looks like Roger Glover and maybe a picture of what looks like, Roger Glover down here and Ian Pace, the drummer here. Okay. All right, and let's go ahead and pull this record out. Wow, this thing's pretty awesome looking. Fancy. That is really fancy. All right, so here's side A, and this crystal clear vinyl with the white sticker in the middle. It just says Deep Purple on it. I don't really know if it really has anything around that circle there. Anyway, all right, and then if I flip it over to side 2, it's got a black sticker in the middle. But that is very cool, man. Look at that. Look at that. You can see my ugly face through the vinyl. All right, anyway. All right. That is really cool. Now, there is a regular black vinyl version of this on Amazon for a little bit cheaper. I don't remember seeing that when I pre-ordered this. However, I probably could have got the black vinyl sooner than I got this one. You know, I don't know what the point of pre-ordering is if you don't get it on the day of release, but whatever. All right, so hold on before I go blow my load here. Get back in the box there. All right. All right, so here we go. All right, so if we look on this side here, more of the same of the last inner sleeve, except in this case, it's got a picture of Don Airey and Steve Morse, the more current members of Deep Purple, even though they've both been in the band for 20, almost, one case, almost 30 years. All right, that's really cool. And then on the back here, it looks like here's your different liner notes and who wrote the songs and all this other stuff. And of course, who even played some extra stuff on the songs, like maybe some trumpet and some sax and some other things going on here. So really cool, really cool. All right, I imagine it's much the same inside here with the album, but we'll pull it out anyway just so we can take a look. I'm trying not to get my fingerprints all over it. It's kind of hard to slide out there. Yeah, pretty much the same. One with a black inner sticker and one with a more white cream colored inner sticker. So really cool, really cool. All right. So let's get this all reassembled. Let me just double check and make sure there's nothing else in here. The good thing is the one advantage of buying it off Amazon is that I did actually get the MP3s or the digital at no extra cost, for buying the records. So, so at least I have those. But I will say I have not listened to this yet. Now, I've had the MP3 since Friday, but I really, I really try to keep myself in the mode now that I've gotten back into vinyl over the last several years, that when I get a new release, I like to wait until I actually have the physical copy of the vinyl, especially for a new album. I want to hear it that first time, on my turntable or whatever. So I have not listened to this with the exception of the 2 or 3 songs that were previously released. And of course those, let's see, the first single they released was a song called 7 and 7s, or 7 and 7 is, excuse me, by a group called Love. Now, the one thing I will say about this particular covers album is, yes, there's a handful of songs on here that people would know, but I would say there's a lot of songs on here that the average fan has probably never heard of. And that's kind of cool. I don't necessarily like it when a band makes a covers album and it's all just like them just doing covers of massive hits. Like, okay, I mean, what's the point? This, to me, since I'm not familiar with some of these songs, kind of gives it like a new album feel. I don't know the song, so the Deep Purple version is going to be the only one I hear, which I think is kind of cool. So 7 and 7 is a pretty cool tune by a band called Love. Then next they go into a version of Rockin' Pneumonia and the Boogie Woogie Flu. Now that is a pretty common song. It's been covered several times. I know Aerosmith has a version that they did for the Less Than Zero soundtrack back in the mid-'80s. So pretty well-known song, but, I listened to a little bit of that. It sounds really good. Again, Bob Ezrin produced this album, so you really can't go wrong there. So, sonically it's going to sound great. Their last album, Whoosh, from 2020, might be, in my opinion, the most well-produced rock album I've ever heard in my entire life. That's just my opinion. Then it goes into a song called Oh Well, which is an old Fleetwood Mac tune, but Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac. So we're digging back into the late 60s, early 70s with stuff like that. Then Jenny Take a Ride by Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels. Watching the River Flow, which is a Bob Dylan tune. Let the Good Times Roll, which is Louis Jordan. And I did my research on that. I was curious to see if it was the same Let the Good Times Roll that I think Molly Hatchet covered. It might be their own song, I'm not sure. Covered back in the 70s, but it is not the same song. Dixie Chicken by Little Feat. That's a song a lot of people know. Shapes of Things by the Yardbirds. Another tune, a lot of people are familiar with. The Battle of New Orleans by somebody named Jimmy Driftwood. I am not familiar with that at all. Lucifer by Bob Seger. I don't know if that's like an early Seger tune. I'm not that familiar with it. White Room by Cream. Yeah, everybody knows that one. And then in the last track on here is it's called "Caught in the Act." It's a medley of 4 or 5 songs. An old Beck tune called "Going Down." Booker T and the MGs, an old song of theirs called "Green Onions." The Allman Brothers' "Hot Lana." "Dazed and Confused" by Led Zeppelin, and closing out with "Give Me Some Lovin'" by Spencer Davis. So a lot of cool tunes on here. Again, about half the stuff on here is stuff that I think most casual to advanced rock fans are familiar with. And then I would say the other half, as much as I claim to know about music, about half the songs on here I'm not familiar with. So I'm kind of excited because, again, to me, that makes it very much like a new album instead of listening to some band do a bunch of songs that I've heard a million times. And even the ones I know I haven't heard a million times. So I think it's really cool. I think it's a little bit different approach to a covers album than a lot of groups take. And I'm pretty excited to hear it. So I don't really have much else going on with this. I'm hoping they'll tour maybe one more time. I think they are touring America next year. So I'm hoping to catch them one more time. I saw them in 2018 and they were awesome. But yeah, so check it out. New album, new music, Deep Purple, Turn Into Crime. I like a lot of new Deep Purple stuff. I think a lot of the stuff they've done over the last 20 years is comparable to anything they did in the 70s. Some stuff maybe not, but they've done a lot of great work, especially over the last decade or so. So check that out. That's all I've got for you today. Again, if you would go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel below. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified when we put out new content. I've got other stuff out there. I've got the rest of my Unboxing the Vinyl series, where we open up new albums, we open up box sets, we open up reissues. Might slow down on that a little bit now. We are getting pretty close to Christmas, and usually by the first week of December or so, a lot of the big new releases kind of slow down. So I don't know how much more of that I'll have for the rest of the year. But I also have my Inside the Vinyl series, where we talk about live albums and albums that I think are lost classics. I have some concert footage from some festivals from a couple of years ago, Exit 111, Welcome to Rockville, Kiss, some other things. Hoping to have some new content there as well. I took some video at the most recent Welcome to Rockville, but I'm having a little trouble with it, so it's taking a little bit longer than I had hoped. And last but not least, if you're into disc golf, I've got some very mediocre disc golf videos starring some very mediocre players, myself included. So again, like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification button, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.